Julius Caesar. By William Shakespeare. Dramatis Personae. Julius Caesar, Roman statesman and general. Octavius, triumvir after Caesar's death, later Augustus Caesar, first emperor of Rome. Mark Antony, general and friend of Caesar, a triumvir after his death. Lepidus, third member of the triumvirate. Marcus Brutus, leader of the conspiracy against Caesar. Cassius, instigator of the conspiracy. Casca, conspirator against Caesar. Trebonius, Caius Ligarius, Decius Brutus. Metellus Cimber, Cinna, Calpurnia, wife of Caesar. Portia, wife of Brutus. Cicero, senator. Papilius, Papilius Lena, Flavius, tribune. Murellus, tribune. Cato, supporter of Brutus. Lucilius, Titinius. Messala, Volumnius, Artemidorus, a teacher of rhetoric. Cinna, a poet. Varro, servant to Brutus. Clitus, Claudio, Strato, Lucius, Dardanius, Pindarus, servant to Cassius. The ghost of Caesar. A soothsayer. A poet. Senators, citizens, soldiers, commoners, messengers, and servants. How do you find this book? Any thoughts about the book or the author? Any suggestion for improvement? Please take a moment to share your thoughts in a comment. If you like it, share it with your friends who might enjoy it as well. Subscribe to keep in touch. Visit CompleteAudiobooks.com for more quality content. Scene 2. A public place. Flourish. Enter Caesar, Antony, for the course, Calpurnia, Portia, Decius Brutus, Cicero, Brutus, Cassius, and Casca, a great crowd following, among them a soothsayer. Caesar. Calpurnia. Casca. Peace, ho. Caesar speaks. Caesar. Calpurnia. Calpurnia. Here, my lord. Caesar. Stand you directly in Antonius' way. When he doth run his course. Antonius. Antony. Caesar, my lord. Caesar. Forget not, in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia. For our elders say, the barren, touched in this holy chase, shake off their sterile curse. Antony. I shall remember. When Caesar says, do this, it is performed. Caesar. Set on, and leave no ceremony out. Flourish. Soothsayer. Caesar. Caesar. Ha. Who calls? Casca. Bid every noise be still, peace yet again. Caesar. Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue, shriller than all the music. Cry, Caesar. Speak, Caesar is turned to hear. Soothsayer. Beware the Ides of March. Caesar. What man is that? Brutus. A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March. Caesar. Set him before me, let me see his face. Cassius. Fellow, come from the throng, look upon Caesar. Caesar. What say'st thou to me now? Speak once again. Soothsayer. Beware the Ides of March. Caesar. He is a dreamer, let us leave him, pass. Senate. Exeunt all except Brutus and Cassius. Cassius. Will you go see the order of the course? Brutus. Not I. Cassius. I pray you, do. Brutus. I am not gamesome, I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you. Cassius. Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you. Brutus. Cassius. Be not deceived, if I have veiled my look. I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself. which give some soil perhaps to my behaviors. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved. Among which number, Cassius, be you one. Nor construe any further my neglect. Than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men. Cassius. Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion. By means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face? Brutus. No, Cassius. For the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things. Cassius. 'Tis just. And it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard, where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus, and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes. Brutus. Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? That you would have me seek into myself, for that which is not in me. Cassius. Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of. And be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus. Were I a common laugher, or did use to stale with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester. If you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard, and after scandal them, or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous. Flourish, and shout. Brutus. What means this shouting? I do fear, the people choose Caesar for their king. Cassius. Do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so. Brutus. I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death the other. And I will look on both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me as I love the name of honor more than I fear death. Cassius. I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life. But, for my single self, I had as lief not be as live to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar. So were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood, and swim to yonder point? Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in, and bade him follow, so indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside, and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, help me, Cassius, or I sink. I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god, and Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body. If Caesar carelessly but gnawed on him, he had a fever when he was in Spain. And when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. His coward lips did from their color fly. And that same eye whose bend doth awe the world did lose his luster. I did hear him groan. Ay, and that tongue of his that bade the Romans mark him and write his speeches in their books. Alas! It cried, "Give me some drink, Titinius." As a sick girl. Ye gods, it doth amaze me. A man of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world, and bear the palm alone. Shout. Flourish. Brutus. Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar. Cassius. Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar, what should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together, yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy, conjure with M. Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now, in the names of all the gods at once. Upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed? That he is grown so great. Age, thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When went there by an age, since the great flood? But it was famed with more than with one man. When could they say till now, that talked of Rome? That her wide walls encompassed but one man? Now is it Rome indeed and room enough, when there is in it but one only man? Oh, you and I have heard our father say, there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king. Brutus. That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this and of these times, I shall recount hereafter. For this present, I would not, so with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have said, I will consider, what you have to say, I will with patience hear, and find a time, both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome. Under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us. Cassius. I am glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus. Brutus. The games are done and Caesar is returning. Cassius. As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve. And he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath preceded worthy note today. Re-enter Caesar and his train. Brutus. I will do so. But, look you, Cassius. The angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like a chidden train. Calpurnia's cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferret and such fiery eyes, as we have seen him in the Capitol, being crossed in conference by some senators. Cassius. Casca will tell us what the matter is. Caesar. Antonius. Antony. Caesar. Caesar. Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men and such as sleep o' nights. Yond Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much, such men are dangerous. Antony. Fear him not, Caesar, he's not dangerous. He is a noble Roman and well given. Caesar. Would he were fatter. But I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He is a great observer and he looks quite through the deeds of men, he loves no plays. As thou dost, Antony, he hears no music. Seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort. As if he mocked himself and scorned his spirit. That could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease. Whiles they behold a greater than themselves. And therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared. Than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is deaf. And tell me truly what thou thinkst of him. Senate. Exeunt Caesar and all his train, but Casca. Casca. You pulled me by the cloak, would you speak with me? Brutus. I, Casca. Tell us what hath chanced today. That Caesar looks so sad. Casca. Why, you were with him, were you not? Brutus. I should not then ask Casca what had chanced. Casca. Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand. Thus, and then the people fell a shouting. Brutus. What was the second noise for? Casca. Why, for that too. Cassius. They shouted thrice, what was the last cry for? Casca. Why, for that too. Brutus. Was the crown offered him thrice? Casca. Ay, marry, was't, and he put it by thrice, every time gentler than other, and at every putting by. Mine honest neighbors shouted. Cassius. Who offered him the crown? Casca. Why, Antony. Brutus. Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca. Casca. I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery, I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, yet 'twas not a crown. Neither, 'twas one of these coronets. And, as I told you, he put it by once, but, for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again, then he put it by again. But, to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by, and still as he refused it, the rabblement hooted and clapped their chapped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps. And uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that it had almost choked Caesar. For he swoonded and fell down at it, and for mine own part, I durst not laugh, for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air. Cassius. But, soft, I pray you, what, did Caesar swound? Casca. He fell down in the marketplace, and foamed at mouth, and was speechless. Brutus. 'Tis very like, he hath the failing sickness. Cassius. No, Caesar hath it not, but you and I. And honest Casca, we have the falling sickness. Casca. I know not what you mean by that, but, I am sure Caesar fell down. If the tagrag people did not clap him and hiss him, according as he pleased and displeased them, as they used to do the players in the theatre, I am no true man. Brutus. What said he when he came unto himself? Casca. Marry, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me ope his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. And I had been a man of any occupation, if I would not have taken him at a word. I would I might go to hell among the rogues. And so he fell. When he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches, where I stood, cried, alas, good soul, and forgave him with all their hearts, but there's no heed to be taken of them, if Caesar had Stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less. Brutus. And after that, he came, thus sad, away. Casca. I. Cassius. Did Cicero say anything? Casca. I, he spoke Greek. Cassius. To what effect? Casca. Nay, and I tell you that, he'll ne'er look you the face again, but those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads, but, for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more. News too, Murellus and Flavius, for pulling scarfs off Caesar's images, are put to silence. Fare you well. There was more foolery yet, if I could remember it. Cassius. Will you sup with me tonight, Casca? Casca. No, I am promised forth. Cassius. Will you dine with me tomorrow? Casca. Ay, if I be alive and your mind hold and your dinner worth the eating. Cassius. Good, I will expect you. Casca. Do so. Farewell, both. Exit. Brutus. What a blunt fellow is this grown to be. He was quick mettle when he went to school. Cassius. So is he now in execution of any bold or noble enterprise. However he puts on this tardy form. This rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men stomach to digest his words with better appetite. Brutus. And so it is. For this time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you. Or, if you will, come home to me, and I will wait for you. Cassius. I will do so, till then, think of the world. Exit Brutus. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet, I see, thy honorable metal may be wrought. From that it is disposed, therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. I will this night in several hands, in at his windows throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after this let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him, or worse days endure. Exit. Scene 3. The same. A street. Thunder and lightning. Enter from opposite sides, Casca, with his sword drawn, and Cicero. Cicero. Good even, Casca, brought you Caesar home? Why are you breathless? And why stare you so? Casca. Are not you moved, when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? O Cicero. I have seen tempests, when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam, to be exalted with the threatening clouds. But never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction. Cicero. Why, saw you anything more wonderful? Casca. A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides I have not since put up my sword. Against the Capitol I met a lion, who glared upon me, and went surly by, without annoying me, and there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets, And yesterday the bird of night did sit, even at noonday upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say, these are their reasons, they are natural. For, I believe, they are portentous things. Unto the climate that they point upon. Cicero. Indeed, it is a strange disposed time. But men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Come Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow. Casca. He doth. For he did bid Antonius send word to you he would be there tomorrow. Cicero. Good night then, Casca, this disturbed sky is not to walk in. Casca. Farewell, Cicero. Exit Cicero. Enter Cassius. Cassius. Who's there? Casca. A Roman. Cassius. Casca, by your voice. Casca. Your ear is good. Cassius, what night is this? Cassius. A very pleasing night to honest men. Casca. Who ever knew the heavens menace so? Cassius. Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night. And, thus unbraced, Casca, as you see, have bared my bosom to the thunderstone. And when the cross blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself, even in the aim and very flash of it. Casca. But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble, when the most mighty gods by tokens send such dreadful heralds to astonish us. Cassius. You are dull, Casca, and those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want. Or else you use not. You look pale and gaze, and put on fear and cast yourself in wonder, to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause, why all these fires, why all these gliding ghosts? Why birds and beasts from quality and kind? Why old men fool and children calculate? Why all these things change from their ordinance, their natures and preformed faculties, to monstrous quality? Why, you shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits, to make them instruments of fear and warning, unto some monstrous state. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night, that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars, as doth the lion in the Capitol. A man no mightier than thyself or me, in personal action, yet prodigious grown, and fearful, as these strange eruptions are. Casca. 'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius? Cassius. Let it be who it is, for Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors. But, woe the while, our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with our mothers' spirits. Our yoke and sufferance show us womanish. Casca. Indeed, they say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king, and he shall wear his crown by sea and land, in every place, save here in Italy. Cassius. I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, ye gods, you tyrants do defeat. Nor stony tower, nor walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeon, nor strong links of iron, can be retentive to the strength of spirit. But life, being weary of these worldly bars, never lacks power to dismiss itself. If I know this, know all the world besides. That part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure. Thunder still. Casca. So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears The power to cancel his captivity. Cassius. And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf. But that he sees the Romans are but sheep. He were no lion, were not Romans hinds. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire. Begin it with weak straws. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what offal, when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar. But, O grief! Where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman, then I know my answer must be made. But I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent. Casca. You speak to Casca, and to such a man. That is no fleering telltale. Hold, my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs. And I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest. Cassius. There's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest-minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable dangerous consequence. And I do know, by this, they stay for me in Pompey's porch, for now, this fearful night. There is no stir or walking in the streets. And the complexion of the element in favors like the work we have in hand. Most bloody, fiery, and most terrible. Casca. Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste. Cassius. 'Tis Cinna, I do know him by his gait. He is a friend. Enter Cinna. Cinna, where haste you so? Cinna. To find out you. Who's that? Metellus Cimber. Cassius. No, it is Casca. One incorporate to our attempts. Am I not stayed for, Cinna? Cinna. I am glad on T. What a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights. Cassius. Am I not stayed for? Tell me. Cinna. Yes, you are. O Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party. Cassius. Be you content, good Cinna, take this paper. And look you lay it in the praetor's chair, where Brutus may but find it, and throw this in at his window. Set this up with wax upon old Brutus' statue, all this done. Repair to Pompey's porch, where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there? Cinna. All but Metellus Cimber, and he's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie, and so bestow these papers as you bade me. Cassius. That done, repair to Pompey's theatre. Exit Cinna. Come, Casca, you and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours. Casca. Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness. Cassius. Him and his worth and our great need of him. You have right well conceded. Let us go. For it is after midnight, and ere day we will awake him and be sure of him. Exeunt. Act 2. Scene 2. Caesar's house. Thunder and lightning. Enter Caesar, in his nightgown. Caesar. Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out. Help, ho! They murder Caesar. Who's within? Enter a servant. Servant. My lord. Caesar. Go bid the priests do present sacrifice, and bring me their opinions of success. Servant. I will, my lord. Exit. Enter Calpurnia. Calpurnia. What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today. Caesar. Caesar shall forth, the things that threaten me. Ne'er looked but on my back, when they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished. Calpurnia. Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies. Yet now they fright me. There is one within. Besides the things that we have heard and seen. Recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets. And graves have yawned, and yielded up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fought upon the clouds. In ranks and squadrons and right form of war. Which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horses did neigh, and dying men did groan. And ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. O Caesar! These things are beyond all use. And I do fear them. Caesar! What can be avoided? Whose end is purposed by the mighty gods. Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar. Calpurnia. When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes. Caesar. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear. Seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. Re-enter servant. What say the augurers? Servant. They would not have you to stir forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth. They could not find a heart within the beast. Caesar. The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart. If he should stay at home today for fear. No, Caesar shall not, danger knows full well. That Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day. And I the elder and more terrible. And Caesar shall go forth. Calpurnia. Alas, my lord! Your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today, call it my fear. That keeps you in the house, and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house. And he shall say you are not well today. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this. Caesar. Mark Antony shall say I am not well. And, for thy humor, I will stay at home. Enter Decius Brutus. Here's Decius Brutus, he shall tell them so. Decius Brutus. Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate house. Caesar. And you are come in very happy time. To bear my greeting to the senators. And tell them that I will not come today. Cannot, is false, and that I dare not, falser. I will not come today, tell them so, Decius. Calpurnia. Say he is sick. Caesar. Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arms so far? To be afraid to tell greybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come. Decius Brutus. Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause. Lest I be laughed at when I tell them so. Caesar. The cause is in my will, I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction. Because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statua. Which, like a fountain with 100 spouts, did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling, and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings, and portents, and evils imminent. And on her knee hath begged that I will stay at home today. Decius Brutus. This dream is all amiss interpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified, Caesar. And this way have you well expounded it, Decius Brutus. I have, when you have heard what I can say, and know it now, the Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock, apt to be rendered, for some one to say, break up the Senate till another time, when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear dear love to our proceeding bids me tell you this, and reason to my love is liable. Caesar. How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go. Enter Publius, Brutus, Ligarius, Metellus, Casca, Trebonius, and Cinna. And look where Publius is come to fetch me. Publius. Good morrow, Caesar. Caesar. Welcome, Publius. What, Brutus, are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Casca. Caius Ligarius. Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy as that same ague which hath made you lean. What is 'o'clock? Brutus. Caesar, 'tis struck an 8. Caesar. I thank you for your pains and courtesy. Enter Antony. See. Antony, that revels long o' nights, is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony. Antony. So to most noble Caesar. Caesar. Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Now, Cinna, now, Metellus, what, Trebonius. I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me, that I may remember you. Trebonius. Caesar, I will. Aside. And so near will I be, that your best friends shall wish I had been further. Caesar. Good friends, go in, and taste some wine with me. And we, like friends, will straightway go together. Brutus. Aside, that every like is not the same, O Caesar. The heart of Brutus yearns to think upon. Exeunt. Scene 3. A street near the Capitol. Enter Artemidorus, reading a paper. Artemidorus. Caesar, beware of Brutus, take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca. Have an eye to Cinna, trust not. Trebonius, mark well Metellus Cimber, Decius Brutus. Loves thee not, thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you, security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. Thy lover. Artemidorus. Here will I stand till Caesar pass along. And as a suitor will I give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayst live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive. Exit. Scene 4. Another part of the same street, before the house of Brutus. Enter Portia and Lucius. Portia. I prithee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay? Lucius. To know my errand, madam. Portia. I would have had thee there, and here again, ere I can tell thee what thou shouldst do there. O Constancy, be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain, 'tween my heart and tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard it is for women to keep counsel. Art thou here yet? Lucius. Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital, and nothing else. And so return to you, and nothing else. Portia. Yes, bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well. For he went sickly forth, and take good note. What Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. Hark, boy. What noise is that? Lucius. I hear none, madam. Portia. Prithee, listen well. I heard a bustling rumor, like a fray. And the wind brings it from the capital. Lucius. Sooth, madam, I hear nothing. Enter the soothsayer. Portia. Come hither, fellow, which way hast thou been? Soothsayer. At mine own house, good lady. Portia. What is the clock? Soothsayer. About the 9th hour, lady. Portia. Is Caesar yet gone to the capital? Soothsayer. Madam, not yet, I go to take my stand. To see him pass on to the capital. Portia. Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not? Soothsayer. That I have, lady, if it will please Caesar. To be so good to Caesar as to hear me. I shall beseech him to befriend himself. Portia. Why, knowst thou any harms intended towards him? Soothsayer. None that I know will be, much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you. Here the street is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar at the heels. Of senators, of praetors, common suitors. Will crowd a feeble man almost to death. I'll get me to a place more void, and there speak to great Caesar as he comes along. Exit. Portia. I must go in. Ay me, how weak a thing the heart of woman is. O Brutus! The heavens speed thee in thine enterprise. Sure, the boy heard me, Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. Say I am merry, come to me again. And bring me word what he doth say to thee. Exeunt severally. Act 3. Scene 2. The Forum. Enter Brutus and Cassius, and a throng of citizens. Citizens. We will be satisfied, let us be satisfied. Brutus. Then follow me, and give me audience, friends. Cassius, go you into the other street. And part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him. And public reasons shall be rendered. Of Caesar's death. First citizen. I will hear Brutus speak. Second citizen. I will hear Cassius. And compare their reasons. When severally we hear them rendered. Exit Cassius, with some of the citizens. Brutus goes into the pulpit. Third citizen. The noble Brutus is ascended, silence. Brutus. Be patient till the last. Romans, countrymen, and lovers. Hear me for my cause, and be silent, that you may hear, believe me. For mine honor, and have respect to mine honor, that you may believe, censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say, that Brutus' love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead, to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it, as he was valiant, I honor him, but, as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any, speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any, speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any, speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply. All. None, Brutus, none. Brutus. Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. His glory not extenuated, wherein he was worthy, nor his offences enforced, for which he suffered death. Enter Antony and others, with Caesar's body. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that, as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death. All. Live, Brutus. Live, live. First citizen. Bring him with triumph home unto his house. Second citizen. Give him a statue with his ancestors. Third citizen. Let him be Caesar. Fourth citizen. Caesar's better parts shall be crowned in Brutus. First citizen. Will bring him to his house with shouts and clamors. Brutus. My countrymen. Second citizen. Peace, silence. Brutus speaks. First citizen. Peace, ho. Brutus. Good countrymen, let me depart alone. And, for my sake, stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart. Save I alone, till Antony have spoke. Exit. First citizen. Stay, ho. And let us hear Mark Antony. Third citizen. Let him go up into the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up. Antony. For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you. Goes into the pulpit. Fourth citizen. What does he say of Brutus? Third citizen. He says, for Brutus' sake. He finds himself beholding to us all. Fourth citizen. 'Twere best he speak no harm of Brutus here. First citizen. This Caesar was a tyrant. Third citizen. Nay, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him. Second citizen. Peace. Let us hear what Antony can say. Antony. You gentle Romans. Citizens. Peace, ho. Let us hear him. Antony. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest. For Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome. Whose ransoms did the general coffers fill? Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal. I thrice presented him a kingly crown. Which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And, sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke. But here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then, to mourn for him? O judgment! Thou art fled to brutish beasts. And men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar. And I must pause till it come back to me. First Citizen. Methinks there is much reason in his sayings. Second Citizen. If thou consider rightly of the matter. Caesar has had great wrong. Third Citizen. Has he, masters? I fear there will a worse come in his place. Fourth Citizen. Marked ye his words? He would not take the crown. Therefore, 'tis certain he was not ambitious. First Citizen. If it be found so, some will dear abide it. Second Citizen. Poor soul! His eyes are red as fire with weeping. Third Citizen. There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony. Fourth Citizen. Now mark him, he begins again to speak. Antony. But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world, now lies he there. And none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong. Who, you all know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you. Then I will wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet, 'tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament. Which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. And they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds. And dip their napkins in his sacred blood. Yea. Beg a hair of him for memory. And, dying, mention it within their wills. Bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto their issue. Fourth Citizen. Will hear the will, read it, Mark Antony. All. The will, the will. We will hear Caesar's will. Antony. Have patience, gentle friends, I must not read it. It is not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And, being men, bearing the will of Caesar. It will inflame you, it will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that you are his heirs. For, if you should, oh, what would come of it? Fourth Citizen. Read the will, we'll hear it, Antony. You shall read us the will, Caesar's will. Antony. Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have o'ershot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men. Whose daggers have stabbed Caesar, I do fear it. Fourth Citizen. They were traitors, honorable men. All. The will. The testament. Second Citizen. They were villains, murderers, the will. Read the will. Antony. You will compel me, then, to read the will. Then make a ring about the corpse of Caesar. And let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend? And will you give me leave? Several Citizens. Come down. Second Citizen. Descend. Third Citizen. You shall have leave. Antony comes down. Fourth Citizen. A ring, stand round. First Citizen. Stand from the hearse, stand from the body. Second Citizen. Room for Antony, most noble Antony. Antony. Nay, press not so upon me, stand far off. Several citizens. Stand back, room, bear back. Antony. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle, I remember. The first time ever Caesar put it on. 'Twas on a summer's evening, in his tent. That day he overcame the Nervii. Look, in this place ran Cassius' dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it. As rushing out of doors, to be resolved. If Brutus so unkindly knocked, or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For when the noble Caesar saw him stab, ingratitude, more strong than traitors' arms, quite vanquished him, then burst his mighty heart. And, in his mantle muffling up his face, even at the base of Pompey's statua, which all the while ran blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen! Then I, and you, and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and, I perceive, you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. Kind souls, what, weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here. Here is himself, marred, as you see, with traitors. First citizen. O piteous spectacle. Second citizen. O noble Caesar. Third citizen. O woeful day. Fourth citizen. O traitors, villains. First citizen. O most bloody sight. Second citizen. We will be revenged. All. Revenge. About. Seek. Burn. Fire. Kill. Slay. Let not a traitor live. Antony. Stay, countrymen. First citizen. Peace there. Hear the noble Antony. Second citizen. We'll hear him, we'll follow him, we'll die with him. Antony. Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not. That made them do it, they are wise and honorable. And will, no doubt, with reasons answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is. But, as you know me all, a plain blunt man. That love my friend. And that they know full well. That gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit, nor words, nor worth. Action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech. To stir men's blood, I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths. And bid them speak for me, but were I Brutus. And Brutus Antony. There were an Antony. Would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny. All. We'll mutiny. First citizen. We'll burn the house of Brutus. Third citizen. Away, then. Come, seek the conspirators. Antony. Yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak. All. Peace, ho. Hear Antony. Most noble Antony. Antony. Why, friends, you go to do you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not, I must tell you then. You have forgot the will I told you of. All. Most true. The will. Let's stay and hear the will. Antony. Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal. To every Roman citizen he gives To every several man, 75 drachmas. Second citizen. Most noble Caesar. Will revenge his death. Third citizen. O royal Caesar. Antony. Hear me with patience. All. Peace, ho. Antony. Moreover, he hath left you all his walks. His private arbours and new planted orchards. On this side Tiber. He hath left them you. And to your heirs for ever, common pleasures. To walk abroad, and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another? First citizen. Never, never. Come, away, away. We'll burn his body in the holy place. And with the brands fire the traitors' houses. Take up the body. Second citizen. Go fetch fire. Third citizen. Pluck down benches. Fourth citizen. Pluck down forms, windows, anything. Exeunt citizens with the body. Antony. Now let it work. Mischief, thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt. Enter a servant. How now, fellow? Servant. Sir, Octavius is already come to Rome. Antony. Where is he? Servant. He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house. Antony. And thither will I straight to visit him. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry. And in this mood will give us anything. Servant. I heard him say, Brutus and Cassius are rid like madmen through the gates of Rome. Antony. Belike they had some notice of the people. How I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius. Exeunt. Scene 3. A street. Enter Cinna the poet. Cinna the poet. I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar. And things unlucky charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors. Yet something leads me forth. Enter citizens. First citizen. What is your name? Second citizen. Whither are you going? Third citizen. Where do you dwell? Fourth citizen. Are you a married man or a bachelor? Second citizen. Answer every man directly. First citizen. I, and briefly. Fourth citizen. I, and wisely. Third citizen. I, and truly, you were best. Cinna the poet. What is my name? Whither am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or a bachelor? Then, 2. Answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly, wisely I say, I am a bachelor. Second citizen. That's as much as to say, they are fools that marry. You'll bear me a bang for that, I fear. Proceed, directly. Cinna the poet. Directly, I am going to Caesar's funeral. First citizen. As a friend or an enemy? Cinna the poet. As a friend. Second citizen. That matter is answered directly. Fourth citizen. For your dwelling, briefly. Cinna the poet. Briefly, I dwell by the Capitol. Third citizen. Your name, sir, truly. Cinna the poet. Truly, my name is Cinna. First citizen. Tear him to pieces, he's a conspirator. Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet, I am Cinna the poet. Fourth citizen. Tear him for his bad verses, tear him for his bad verses. Cinna the poet. I am not Cinna the conspirator. Fourth citizen. It is no matter, his name's Cinna, pluck but his name out of his heart, and turn him going. Third citizen. Tear him, tear him. Come, brands ho! Fire brands. To Brutus, to Cassius, burn all, some to Decius. house, and some to Casca's, some to Ligarius, away, go. Exeunt. Act 4. Scene 2. Camp near Sardis. Before Brutus's tent. Drum. Enter Brutus, Lucilius, Lucius, and soldiers, Titinius and Pindarus meeting them. Brutus. Stand, ho. Lucilius. Give the word, ho. And stand. Brutus. What now, Lucilius? Is Cassius near? Lucilius. He is at hand, and Pindarus is come. To do you salutation from his master. Brutus. He greets me well. Your master, Pindarus. In his own change, or by ill officers. Hath given me some worthy cause to wish. Things done, undone, but, if he be at hand, I shall be satisfied. Pindarus. I do not doubt. But that my noble master will appear. Such as he is, full of regard and honor. Brutus. He is not doubted. A word, Lucilius. How he received you, let me be resolved. Lucilius. With courtesy and with respect enough. But not with such familiar instances. Nor with such free and friendly conference. As he hath used of old. Brutus. Thou hast described. A hot friend cooling, ever note, Lucilius. When love begins to sicken and decay. It useth an enforced ceremony. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith. But hollow men, like horses hot at hand. Make gallant show and promise of their mettle. But when they should endure the bloody spur. They fall their crests, and, like deceitful jades, sink in the trial. Comes his army on. Lucilius. They mean this night in Sardis to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are come with Cassius. Brutus. Hark! He is arrived. Lo, march within. March gently on to meet him. Enter Cassius and his powers. Cassius. Stand, ho. Brutus. Stand, ho. Speak the word along. First soldier. Stand. Second soldier. Stand. Third soldier. Stand. Cassius. Most noble brother, you have done me wrong. Brutus. Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemies? And, if not so, how should I wrong a brother? Cassius. Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs. And when you do them. Brutus. Cassius, be content. Speak your griefs softly, I do know you well. Before the eyes of both our armies here. Which should perceive nothing but love from us. Let us not wrangle, bid them move away. Then in my tent, Cassius, enlarge your griefs. And I will give you audience. Cassius. Pindarus. Bid our commanders lead their charges off. A little from this ground. Brutus. Lucilius, do you the like, and let no man come to our tent till we have done our conference. Let Lucius and Titinius guard our door. Exeunt. Scene 3. Brutus's tent. Enter Brutus and Cassius. Cassius. That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella. For taking bribes here of the Sardians. Wherein my letters, praying on his side. Because I knew the man, were slighted off. Brutus. You wronged yourself to write in such a case. Cassius. In such a time as this it is not meet. That every nice offense should bear his comment. Brutus. Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm. To sell and mart your offices for gold. To undeservers. Cassius. I an itching palm. You know that you are Brutus that speak this. Or, by the gods, this speech were else your last. Brutus. The name of Cassius honors this corruption. And chastisement doth therefore hide his head. Cassius. Chastisement. Brutus. Remember March, the Ides of March remember. Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body, that did stab? And not for justice? What, shall one of us? That struck the foremost man of all this world. But for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes? And sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog, and bay the moon, than such a Roman. Cassius. Brutus, bay not me. I'll not endure it, you forget yourself. To hedge me in, I am a soldier, I. Older in practice, abler than yourself. To make conditions. Brutus. Go to. You are not, Cassius. Cassius. I am. Brutus. I say you are not. Cassius. Urge me no more, I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your health, tempt me no further. Brutus. Away, slight man. Cassius. Is't possible? Brutus. Hear me, for I will speak. Must I give way and room to your rash choler? Shall I be fright when a madman stares? Cassius. O ye gods, ye gods! Must I endure all this? Brutus. All this. Ay, more, fret till your proud heart break. Go show your slaves how choleric you are. And make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? By the gods! You shall digest the venom of your spleen, though it do split you. For, from this day forth, I'll use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter. When you are waspish. Cassius. Is it come to this? Brutus. You say you are a better soldier. Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true. And it shall please me well, for mine own part. I shall be glad to learn of noble men. Cassius. You wrong me every way, you wrong me, Brutus. I said, an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say, better? Brutus. If you did, I care not. Cassius. When Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me. Brutus. Peace, peace. You durst not so have tempted him. Cassius. I durst not. Brutus. No. Cassius. What, durst not tempt him? Brutus. For your life you durst not. Cassius. Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for. Brutus. You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats. For I am armed so strong in honesty, that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me. For I can raise no money by vile means. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart, and drop my blood for drachmas, than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash. By any indirection, I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts. Dash him to pieces. Cassius. I denied you not. Brutus. You did. Cassius. I did not, he was but a fool that brought My answer back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities. But Brutus makes mine greater than they are. Brutus. I do not, till you practice them on me. Cassius. You love me not. Brutus. I do not like your faults. Cassius. A friendly eye could never see such faults. Brutus. A flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus. Cassius. Come, Antony, and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius. For Cassius is aweary of the world. Hated by one he loves, braved by his brother. Checked like a bondman. All his faults observed. Set in a notebook, learned, and conned by rote. To cast into my teeth. Oh, I could weep. My spirit from mine eyes. There is my dagger. And here my naked breast. Within, a heart. Dearer than Plutus mine, richer than gold. If that thou be'st a Roman, take it forth. I, that denied thee gold, will give my heart. Strike, as thou didst at Caesar. For, I know. When thou didst hate him worst, thou lovedst him better. Than ever thou lovedst Cassius. Brutus. Sheath your dagger. Be angry when you will, it shall have scope. Do what you will, dishonor shall be humor. O Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb. That carries anger as the flint bears fire. Who, much enforced, shows a hasty spark. And straight is cold again. Cassius. Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus? When grief, and blood ill-tempered, vexeth him. Brutus. When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too. Cassius. Do you confess so much? Give me your hand. Brutus. And my heart too. Cassius. O Brutus. Brutus. What's the matter? Cassius. Have not you love enough to bear with me? When that rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful. Brutus. Yes, Cassius. And, from henceforth, when you are over-earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides, and leave you so. Poet. Within, let me go in to see the generals. There is some grudge between them, 'tis not meet. They be alone. Lucilius. Within, ye shall not come to them. Poet. Within, nothing but death shall stay me. Enter Poet, followed by Lucilius, Titinius, and Lucius. Cassius. How now? What's the matter? Poet. For shame, you generals. What do you mean? Love, and be friends, as two such men should be. For I have seen more years, I'm sure, than ye. Cassius. Ha, ha. How vilely doth this cynic rhyme. Brutus. Get you hence, Sirrah, saucy fellow, hence. Cassius. Bear with him, Brutus. 'Tis his fashion. Brutus. I'll know his humor, when he knows his time. What should the wars do with these jigging fools? Companion, hence. Cassius. Away, away, be gone. Exit Poet. Brutus. Lucilius and Titinius, bid the commanders prepare to lodge their companies tonight. Cassius. And come yourselves, and bring Messala with you. Immediately to us. Exeunt Lucilius and Titinius. Brutus. Lucius, a bowl of wine. Exit Lucius. Cassius. I did not think you could have been so angry. Brutus. O Cassius, I am sick of many griefs. Cassius. Of your philosophy you make no use. If you give place to accidental evils. Brutus. No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead. Cassius. Ha! Portia. Brutus. She is dead. Cassius. How 'scaped I killing when I crossed you so? O insupportable and touching loss! Upon what sickness? Brutus. Impatient of my absence. And grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong, for with her death that tidings came, with this she fell distract. And, her attendants absent, swallowed fire. Cassius. And died so? Brutus. Even so. Cassius. O ye immortal gods! Re-enter Lucius, with wine and taper. Brutus. Speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of wine. In this I bury all unkindness, Cassius. Cassius. My heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. Fill, Lucius, till the wine o'erswell the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus' love. Brutus. Come in, Titinius. Exit Lucius. Re-enter Titinius, with Messala. Welcome, good Messala. Now sit we close about this taper here. And call in question our necessities. Cassius. Portia, art thou gone? Brutus. No more, I pray you. Messala, I have here received letters. That young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi. Messala. Myself have letters of the selfsame tenor. Brutus. With what addition? Messala. That by proscription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators. Brutus. Therein our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 70 senators that died by their proscriptions, Cicero being one. Cassius. Cicero one. Messala. Cicero is dead. And by that order of proscription. Had you your letters from your wife, my lord? Brutus. No, Messala. Messala. Nor nothing in your letters writ of her? Brutus. Nothing, Messala. Messala. That, methinks, is strange. Brutus. Why ask you? Hear you aught of her in yours? Messala. No, my lord. Brutus. Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true. Messala. Then like a Roman bear the truth I tell. For certain she is dead, and by strange manner. Brutus. Why, farewell, Portia. We must die, Messala. With meditating that she must die once. I have the patience to endure it now. Messala. Even so great men great losses should endure. Cassius. I have as much of this in art as you. But yet my nature could not bear it so. Brutus. Well, to our work alive. What do you think? Of marching to Philippi presently? Cassius. I do not think it good. Brutus. Your reason? Cassius. This it is. 'Tis better that the enemy seek us. So shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offense. Whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness. Brutus. Good reasons must, of force, give place to better. The people, twixt Philippi and this ground, do stand but in a forced affection. For they have grudged us contribution. The enemy, marching along by them shall make a fuller number up. Come on refreshed, new added, and encouraged. From which advantage shall we cut him off? If at Philippi we do face him there. These people at our back. Cassius. Hear me, good brother. Brutus. Under your pardon. You must note beside that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful, our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day. We, at the height, are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat. And we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. Cassius. Then, with your will, go on. We'll along ourselves, and meet them at Philippi. Brutus. The deep of night is crept upon our talk. And nature must obey necessity, which we will niggard with a little rest. There is no more to say. Cassius. No more. Good night. Early tomorrow will we rise, and hence. Brutus. Lucius. Enter Lucius. My gown. Exit Lucius. Farewell, good Messala. Good night, Titinius. Noble, noble Cassius. Good night, and good repose. Cassius. Oh my dear brother. This was an ill beginning of the night. Never comes such division, 'tween our souls. Let it not, Brutus. Brutus. Everything is well. Cassius. Good night, my lord. Brutus. Good night, good brother. Titinius Messala. Good night, Lord Brutus. Brutus. Farewell, every one. Exeunt all but Brutus. Re-enter Lucius, with the gown. Give me the gown. Where is thy instrument? Lucius. Here in the tent. Brutus. What, thou speak'st drowsily. Poor knave, I blame thee not, thou art o'erwatched. Call Claudius and some other of my men. I'll have them sleep on cushions in my tent. Lucius. Varro and Claudius. Enter Varro and Claudius. Varro. Calls my lord. Brutus. I pray you, sirs, lie in my tent and sleep. It may be I shall raise you by and by. On business to my brother Cassius. Varro. So please you, we will stand and watch your pleasure. Brutus. I will not have it so, lie down, good sirs. It may be I shall otherwise bethink me. Look, Lucius, here's the book I sought for so. I put it in the pocket of my gown. Varro and Claudius lie down. Lucius. I was sure your lordship did not give it me. Brutus. Bear with me, good boy, I am much forgetful. Canst thou hold up thy heavy eyes awhile? And touch thy instrument a strain or two? Lucius. I, my lord, an't please you. Brutus. It does, my boy. I trouble thee too much, but thou art willing. Lucius. It is my duty, sir. Brutus. I should not urge thy duty past thy might. I know young bloods look for a time of rest. Lucius. I have slept, my lord, already. Brutus. It was well done, and thou shalt sleep again. I will not hold thee long, if I do live. I will be good to thee. Music, and a song. This is a sleepy tune. O murderous slumber! Lay'st thou thy leaden mace upon my boy? That plays thee music? Gentle knave, good night. I will not do thee so much wrong to wake thee. If thou dost nod, thou break'st thy instrument. I'll take it from thee. And, good boy, good night. Let me see, is not the leaf turned down? Where I left reading. Here it is, I think. Enter the ghost of Caesar. How ill this taper burns. Ha! Who comes here? I think it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god, some angel, or some devil? that makest my blood cold and my hair to stare. Speak to me what thou art. Ghost. Thy evil spirit, Brutus. Brutus. Why comest thou? Ghost. To tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi. Brutus. Well, then I shall see thee again. Ghost. I, at Philippi. Brutus. Why, I will see thee at Philippi, then. Exit Ghost. Now I have taken heart thou vanishest. Ill spirit, I would hold more talk with thee. Boy, Lucius. Varro. Claudius. Sirs, awake. Claudius. Lucius. The strings, my lord, are false. Brutus. He thinks he still is at his instrument. Lucius, awake. Lucius. My lord. Brutus. Didst thou dream, Lucius, that thou so criedst out? Lucius. My lord, I do not know that I did cry. Brutus. Yes, that thou didst thou see anything? Lucius. Nothing, my lord. Brutus. Sleep again, Lucius. Sirrah Claudius. To Varro. Fellow thou, awake. Varro. My lord. Claudius. My lord. Brutus. Why did you so cry out, sirs, in your sleep? Varro Claudius. Did we, my lord? Brutus. I, saw you anything? Varro. No, my lord, I saw nothing. Claudius. Nor I, my lord. Brutus. Go and commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid him set on his powers betimes before. And we will follow. Varro Claudius. It shall be done, my lord. Exeunt. Act 5. Scene 2. The same. The field of battle. Alarum. Enter Brutus and Messala. Brutus. Ride, ride, Messala, ride, and give these bills. Unto the legions on the other side. Loud alarum. Let them set on at once. For I perceive but cold demeanor in Octavius' wing. And sudden push gives them the overthrow. Ride, ride, Messala, let them all come down. Exeunt. Scene 3. Another part of the field. Alarums. Enter Cassius and Titinius. Cassius. Oh, look, Titinius, look, the villains fly. Myself have to mine own turned enemy. This ensign here of mine was turning back. I slew the coward, and did take it from him. Titinius. O Cassius, Brutus gave the word too early. Who, having some advantage on Octavius, took it too eagerly, his soldiers fell to spoil. Whilst we by Antony are all enclosed. Enter Pindarus. Pindarus. Fly further off, my lord, fly further off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Fly, therefore, noble Cassius, fly far off. Cassius. This hill is far enough. Look, look, Titinius. Are those my tents where I perceive the fire? Titinius. They are, my lord. Cassius. Titinius, if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse, and hide thy spurs in him, till he have brought thee up to yonder troops. And here again, that I may rest assured, whether yon troops are friend or enemy. Titinius. I will be here again, even with a thought. Exit. Cassius. Go, Pindarus, get higher on that hill. My sight was ever thick. Regard Titinius. And tell me what thou notest about the field. Pindarus ascends the hill. This day I breathed first, time is come round. And where I did begin, there shall I end. My life is run his compass. Sirrah, what news? Pindarus. Above, O my lord. Cassius. What news? Pindarus. Above, Titinius is enclosed round about with horsemen, that make to him on the spur. Yet he spurs on. Now they are almost on him. Now, Titinius. Now some light. Oh, he lights too. He's ta'en. Shout. And, hark. They shout for joy. Cassius. Come down, behold no more. Oh, coward that I am, to live so long. To see my best friend ta'en before my face. Pindarus descends. Come hither, Sirrah. In Parthia did I take thee prisoner. And then I swore thee, saving of thy life, that whatsoever I did bid thee do, thou shouldst attempt it. Come now, keep thine oath. Now be a freeman, and with this good sword, that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Stand not to answer, here, take thou the hilts. And, when my face is covered, as 'tis now, guide thou the sword. Pindarus stabs him. Caesar, thou art revenged. Even with the sword that killed thee. Dies. Pindarus. So, I am free. Yet would not so have been. Durst I have done my will. O Cassius. Far from this country Pindarus shall run, where never Roman shall take note of him. Exit. Re-enter Titinius with Messala. Messala. It is but change, Titinius. For Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus' power, as Cassius' legions are by Antony. Titinius. These tidings will well comfort Cassius. Messala. Where did you leave him? Titinius. All disconsolate. With Pindarus his bondman, on this hill. Messala. Is not that he t-hat lies upon the ground? Titinius. He lies not like the living. O my heart. Messala. Is not that he? Titinius. No, this was he, Messala. But Cassius is no more. O setting sun. As in thy red rays thou dost sink tonight, so in his red blood Cassius' day is set. The sun of Rome is set. Our day is gone. Clouds, dews, and dangers come, our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed. Messala. Mistrust of good success hath done this deed. O hateful error, melancholy's child. Why dost thou show to the apt thoughts of men the things that are not? O error, soon conceived. Thou never comest unto a happy birth, but kill'st the mother that engendered thee. Titinius. What, Pindarus? Where art thou, Pindarus? Messala. Seek him, Titinius, whilst I go to meet the noble Brutus, thrusting this report into his ears, I may say, thrusting it. For piercing steel and darts envenomed shall be as welcome to the ears of Brutus as tidings of this sight. Titinius. Hie you, Messala. And I will seek for Pindarus the while. Exit Messala. Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? And did not they put on my brows this wreath of victory, and bid me give it thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. But, hold thee, take this garland on thy brow. Thy Brutus bid me give it thee, and I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace. And see how I regarded Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius' sword, and find Titinius' heart. Kills himself. Alarum. Re-enter Messala, with Brutus, Cato, Strato, Volumnius, and Lucilius. Brutus. Where, Messala, doth his body lie? Messala. Lo, yonder, and Titinius mourning it. Brutus. Titinius' face is upward. Cato. He is slain. Brutus. O Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad and turns our swords in our own proper entrails. Lo alarums. Cato. Brave Titinius. Look, whether he have not crowned dead Cassius. Brutus. Are yet 2 Romans living such as these? The last of all the Romans, fare thee well. It is impossible that ever Rome should breed thy fellow friends. I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius, I shall find time. Come, therefore, and to Thassos send his body. His funerals shall not be in our camp, lest it discomfort us. Lucilius, come. And come, young Cato, let us to the field. Labeo and Flavius, set our battles on. 'Tis 3 o'clock, and, Romans, yet ere night. We shall try fortune in a second fight. Exeunt. Scene 4. Another part of the field. Alarum. Enter fighting, soldiers of both armies, then Brutus, Cato, Lucilius, and others. Brutus. Yet, countrymen, oh, yet hold up your heads. Cato. What bastard doth not? Who will go with me? I will proclaim my name about the field. I am the son of Marcus Cato, ho! A foe to tyrants, and my country's friend. I am the son of Marcus Cato, ho! Brutus. And I am Brutus, Marcus Brutus, I. Brutus, my country's friend, know me for Brutus. Exit. Lucilius. O young and noble Cato, art thou down? Why, now thou deest as bravely as Titinius. And mayst be honored, being Cato's son. First soldier. Yield, or thou deest. Lucilius. Only I yield to die. There is so much that thou wilt kill me straight. Offering money. Kill Brutus, and be honored in his death. First soldier. We must not. A noble prisoner. Second soldier. Room, ho! Tell Antony, Brutus is ta'en. First soldier. I'll tell the news. Here comes the general. Enter Antony. Brutus is ta'en, Brutus is ta'en, my lord. Antony. Where is he? Lucilius. Safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that no enemy shall ever take alive the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from so great a shame. When you do find him, or alive or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself. Antony. This is not Brutus, friend, but, I assure you, a prize no less in worth. Keep this man safe. Give him all kindness, I had rather have such men my friends than enemies. Go on. And see whether Brutus be alive or dead. And bring us word unto Octavius' tent. How everything is chanced. Exeunt. Scene 5. Another part of the field. Enter Brutus, Dardanius, Clitus, Strato, and Volumnius. Brutus. Come, poor remains of friends, rest on this rock. Clitus. Statilius showed the torchlight, but, my lord, he came not back, he is or ta'en or slain. Brutus. Sit thee down, Clitus, slaying is the word. It is a deed in fashion. Hark thee, Clitus. Whispers. Clitus. What, I, my lord? No, not for all the world. Brutus. Peace then. No words. Clitus. I'll rather kill myself. Brutus. Hark thee, Dardanius. Whispers. Dardanius. shall I do such a deed? Clitus. O Dardanius! Dardanius! O Clitus! Clitus! What ill request did Brutus make to thee? Dardanius. To kill him, Clitus. Look, he meditates. Clitus. Now is that noble vessel full of grief, that it runs over even at his eyes. Brutus. Come hither, good Volumnius, list a word. Volumnius. What says my lord? Brutus. Why, this, Volumnius. The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me. Several times by night, at Sardis once. And, this last night, here in Philippi fields. I know my hour is come. Volumnius. Not so, my lord. Brutus. Nay, I am sure it is, Volumnius. Thou sayest the world, Volumnius, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. Lo alarums. It is more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Good Volumnius. Thou know'st that we two went to school together. Even for that our love of old, I prithee. Hold thou my sword hilts, whilst I run on it. Volumnius. That's not an office for a friend, my lord. Alarum still. Clitus. Fly, fly, my lord, there is no tarrying here. Brutus. Farewell to you, and you, Volumnius. Strato, thou hast been all this while asleep. Farewell to thee too, Strato. Countryman. My heart doth joy that yet in all my life I found no man but he was true to me. I shall have glory by this losing day, more than Octavius and Mark Antony. By this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once. For Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon mine eyes, my bones would rest, that have but labored to attain this hour. Alarum. Cry within, fly, fly, fly. Clitus. Fly, my lord, fly. Brutus. Hence. I will follow. Exeunt Clitus, Dardanius, and Volumnius. I prithee, Strato, stay thou by thy lord. Thou art a fellow of a good respect. Thy life hath had some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword, and turn away thy face, while I do run upon it. Wilt thou, Strato? Strato. Give me your hand first. Fare you well, my lord. Brutus. Farewell, good Strato. Runs on his sword. Caesar, now be still. I killed not thee with half so good a will. Dies. Alarum. Retreat. Enter Octavius, Antony, Messala, Lucilius, and the army. Octavius. What man is that? Messala. My master's man. Strato, where is thy master? Strato. Free from the bondage you are in, Messala. The conquerors can but make a fire of him. For Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death. Lucilius. So Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius' saying true. Octavius. All that served Brutus, I will entertain them. Fellow, wilt thou bestow thy time with me? Strato. Ay, if Messala will prefer me to you. Octavius. Do so, good Messala. Messala. How died my master, Strato? Strato. I held the sword, and he did run on it. Messala. Octavius, then take him to follow thee. That did the latest service to my master. Antony. This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators save only he did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only, in a general honest thought, and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man. Octavius. According to his virtue let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie. Most like a soldier, ordered honorably. So call the field to rest. And let's away to part the glories of this happy day. Exeunt.